Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1 EU Championship. We're today for the Japanese Grand Prix round 5 out of 16. Let's see what we can have today. Iconic circuit, very interesting setup wise. Now you see as Ben goes down the back straight, it's such a long straight that you kind of have to go low on the setup, low downforce I should say, to get that straight line speed. However, the first sector is absolutely treacherous. You really need a lot of downforce. So, you know, this circuit's going to be so technical. You can use either a low or high downforce setup. You just need to make sure you have a good position on the track. Zingy, what would you opt for? High or low downforce? As Ben goes for a bit of a spin.
I would opt for whatever feels good around the corners, but also, I mean, this is the obvious answer. Goes around the corners, it goes around the straights. I'd want a balance. So I'd try and go for low downforce, but if I'm losing too much time in the first and middle sector, is there really a point of using low downforce?
Fair enough. Slightly Will Buxton kind of explanation of this setup. What setup would you go for? I'm going to go for the one that has wings. Something like that, I don't know. Never mind, I need to just shut up. I've ruined it. I was trying to think of what to say. Now, we've got Mizzy going for 2 laps on that set of soft tyres, a 29.9. Fair enough to them, but Curran is a long way ahead at this stage. We've got Ammo, who is in P14, brand new to the league. Great to see them on board. Benjamin and Robbo have joined recently into the session. That's why they haven't quite got a lap down yet. But we'll see how those guys do in a little while. Zingy, I will ask you to go on board with Pursuit in a little bit, but he's not going to be on the lap just yet. So in the meantime, we'll look at strategy. What is it today, as you had a very difficult one to try and navigate yesterday?
Well, it could be medium hard, but the issue is it's very difficult on the tyre. So we might actually see some 2 stops this race as Pursuit goes for a little bit of a spin in the middle sector. Yeah, so tyres are very difficult. The soft tyres, you will rarely see them happening. Safety car lasts 4 laps, you're going to see them. But like, apart from that, the soft tyres won't really be used at all. They're not a viable tyre. And if you do so, it's a bit silly because the medium tyres even wear it quite a lot. And you know, the medium tyres are usually a good tyre. So we might see some punctures, maybe more in Bahrain. But I'd hope in a way more in Bahrain, considering that it's a lower tyre degradation circuit.
Yeah, for sure. Now we go on board with Bassoon, DRS available. Let's see what he can do. Had that spin, but wasn't really big enough to say that he's going to be in big danger. Probably just warmed up his tyres. As you send it into turn 1, you have to turn in full throttle, which is pretty scary on some occasions, as they do make a slight mistake as they go to turn 2. Looks like they're pretty twitchy on this setup, which could be quick, but they're riding those curves, and it's not gaining them any time. They go up through Dunlop. They manage to hit the apex nicely right there. What's the delta looking like at the moment as they head through? We've missed it already. Yes, we have. It didn't actually pop up on our screens, unfortunately, although I just looked away as soon as it came up. Never mind. Anyway, we'll carry on with this lap into Spoon. Looking tidier in the second sector so far, as they just were really trying to go aggressive on the setup, but on the approach into that S section. Now a 55.2 and 9 minutes, less than 9 minutes left on the clock. 7 minutes left on the clock. They've got some work to do as we'll go down the back straight. Let's see what is the delta looking like now as across the line. It is, well, minus 23 seconds. It's not really going to be no surprise there. Into Casio to finish off the lap. Now, bumpy part of the circuit as you exit. Easy to lose it, but keeping it tight to the right-hand side. Minimise track distance across the line. And it's a P2, a 29.8. Lovely stuff to get a lap in, but still 4 tenths behind the current pole position time.
Yeah, we noticed that Cohen's always been fantastic during qualifying, and yet again, he's shown that early in the session he set an absolutely fantastic time. But pursuing with those few mistakes, he definitely lost about 2-3 tenths. Maybe if he pushes a bit more as he spins on his in-lap, if he pushes a bit more without making those mistakes, I reckon he's got a chance at pole today, because the track's going to get ever so faster, and there's going to be a lot of drivers on it. There's going to be, what, 12, 11? They're going to wrap the track up a lot, so we might see a bit of an interesting battle again between these two for pole position, which it almost feels like it's every race now, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Robbo, when did they retire? I missed it.
Castle Triangle, I think they lost the back end. I didn't go on board with them, but I'm pretty sure they lost the back end at the last corner and just smashed into the wall, and that's an out.
Interesting. All right, Curran is going into the pit lane. They went purple in the middle sector, but they decided to back off unless they already were on an in-lap, but it suggests not, as that is Gilly going for a quick spinneroo. Mizzy is in P4. Are they going for an improvement lap? It looks like it's just maybe a one-off, something like that. Frantic sends it into turn 1, although they've got one lap on these tyres already. Are they going for another lap? Riding the first curve, just kissing the second one, riding the third one, which did lose them a little bit of time as they had to momentarily lift, opening up Dunlop. Pretty nice through there, try and open up the steering so you can get the throttle on a bit easier. Very easy to lose it into the Degnish part of the circuit. I always say chicane, it's not a chicane, 6/10 down, so they're not going to be improving on this lap. This is Vale in P8 at the moment, and JJ goes and puts a 29.6 in. It's a Williams 1-2.
It's the first time we've seen that in, 30 years? Wow, that's impressive. JJ showing some good pace there. Maybe he's running a bit of a low downforce there. Maybe he's really fast on the straights and then making the time just right in the corners. So it's a Williams 1-2 at the moment, and JJ, known for his straight line speed, he could probably retain that in the race.
Yeah, pretty good job from him so far. This is Vale, as I was saying, they're in P8 at the moment, a 30.3. They just improved by 6/10, 4 minutes on the clock. They do have a little bit of a troublesome situation. Although it's a long race, we can definitely see some switch-ups. Their setup from Bahrain was very low downforce, so maybe that's where they're struggling here as they move out the way of the Red Bull. Nifajan, who is a high-zero driver, just getting some laps in before the session starts, of course, as they are allowed to do so. Now, outlap Gibby. Fun fact, he is in VR, which is very, very difficult to drive. I think the only person that we've seen driving VR was JMO. And it's very, very difficult. As you can see, makes a mistake in Dunlop. It's got to be very exciting to do so, though. But it is what it is. Both Mercedes are going to be pretty close together, but Gibby's going to have a long way to go until they actually start this lap. So there's going to be no tow, I don't believe. Benjamin into the final chicane as they end this lap, I believe. This is going to be their first valid lap, and they need to get it in. It might even be their final lap, unless it's an opening lap. It's a final lap, and that's going to be P4 for them. I don't think they're going to be able to improve if we can get that yellow flag away off the screen, but it looks like it's going to stay there for a bit. 3 minutes left on the clock as Nifajan disqualifies himself from the session. Once again, both Ferraris doing all right, but they retire early, Gilly, and that's going to put them prone to dropping down the order.
Yeah, you want to be out at the last second, because even if there's no cars out on track, the game passively ups the speed of the track, so even still, you still want to be out there at the last second, but Gilly decides to end it early. JJ also decides he's not going for another lap, so he thinks his time's good enough, which, I mean, to be fair, it was a great lap by JJ. We weren't expecting it, but he's done really well, so JJ could be on for a good start. And I've also noticed that Benjamin set the exact same time as Pursoon.
Fair enough to him. Well, Pursoon, he's going for his final lap right now, so he is going to have a chance to improve it. Regardless, it doesn't matter if he beats Benjamin on this lap or not, because he is ahead. He set the lap first after all. Benjamin, don't think he's going to get another lap in unless he's gone for a cooldown lap, but it will make it extremely difficult to improve anyway. Both Cohen is out. I was going to say both Cohen is out, but JJ's retired. I was going to say both the top two. Is what it is. Purple middle sector for Pursoon, as they are improving on their current lap into Spoon. They will go. Zingy, do you think they can get pole position here?
You're going to put the pressure on my soldiers to say something, and then, well, he's 4/10 up, and if you do the maths, which I'm not very good at maths, 4/10 is equal to pole position, so yeah, it's looking good for him at the moment. Coming for a Spoon now, it's a really painful, long left-hander that just makes the tires scream as he manages to keep it, but he just loses the back end a little bit, losing a bit of time, keeping to the outside interestingly, which is going to lose you a couple hundreds, although he is nearly 6/10 up. coming through 130R now and into the Castle Triangle for the final time on his qualifying session. He misses the apex a bit there, but he rides this curb on the second part of the chicane, and he manages to get a good exit up to the line, and it's going to be pole position. It's going to be on 29.2, the most going down to P2 for the moment. As he goes, is that just him starting a lap, or is he? Yeah, it's him starting a lap. Yeah, so I'll take you through a lap into turn 1, flat as you like, but you want to slow down a lot for the second corner. And now the S section, this is very tricky on the tyres and on yourself, because you need to be very patient. Left, right, left. You cannot put the power down too much, otherwise you'll make a mistake. Coming through Dunlop about now, it's a very easy corner to spin, as we've seen a couple of people doing during the race in F1. And coming into the 2 Degnas now, it's going to be 1/10 down from pole, so he's not improving as of now. Second Degna, it's very hard to get the traction down, but he seems to do it nicely there. And coming into the hairpin, it's very tricky to get the traction down on exit. On entry, you can brake later than you think, and he does great on traction. That's him flying by. And now onto the little straight before, Spoon, you need to just stay to the right hand side, minimise the track distance, nothing else really to say. And now Spoon, as we said, a really long left-hander, minimal steering input so you can keep the car nice and straight and get the power down. As he does so, a little bit squirmish on exit, and he's absolutely raging. He's made a mistake, and he doesn't think he can improve anymore. But we can see through the second sector, he's a 10th down and he retires on track, which is interesting. Hopefully not blocking Pursuit, who's on an in-lap, but yeah, could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. It's all good. Nothing will really be done too much, just a simple warning, and that would be that. But that looks like qualifying is almost complete. We've got Mizzy, Frantic, Vale on laps. We're going to go on board with This Is Vale, who I think is going to be the next one to set their final lap of the session. That is a Ferrari that is ahead of them. They're not going to impede them, and it is an AI, so regardless of the situation, nothing's going to be able to... The AI isn't going to be able to move out the way. There you go. This is going to be able to improve not too much. It's enough to push them up, but that's going to be about it. We've got Mizzy, who's going to look to try and improve. They were pretty far up the times earlier on. Everybody seemed to miss that second apex of the chicane, which is interesting, but that's Mizzy going across the line. They do get to the P2 position in the end. Brilliant job from them. Frantic, where are they going to put themselves?
In the pit lane.
In the pit lane. In the pit lane. Brilliant, brilliant job. That is Pursoon on pole position. Mizzy in P2 at the end there. Brilliant job from them. And Cohen, going from challenging for pole, or sitting on pole, is now in P3 off the front row.
That's an ideal, isn't it?
Bit of a surprise, to be honest. No disrespect to Cohen, of course. It's a difficult circuit. I would have really liked to see where he could have placed himself. He completed that lap, but just a moment on the exit, and that is the difference between pole position and P3. For now, qualifying is done. We'll get the results up on the screen, and then we'll head to the race, of course. 29 laps of... 27 laps, there you go. 27 laps of Japan. Pursoon takes pole position, Mizzy in P2, Kern in P3. Williams of JJ right behind his teammate there. Race director, just in case we need to check it out later on, of course. And then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold. Go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? That was a very long hold on the lights. And listen, failed to the outside line. Gonna take both Ferraris. And before the corner, Mizzy leads the way. Cohen jumps Pursoon. Pole position was completely useless. I do not believe it. That is the Alfa Romeo on the grass momentarily. They will take the position over Benjamin. Benjamin wants to have another look. There's a car off, and that is a big crash. Gilly out. Ammo is unfortunately off as well. What the hell happened there? Both of them in the wall, and that is a virtual safety car.
Yeah, what happened was Gilly just lost a car, and unfortunately Ammo was just there, and he just got collected, and Gilly's out the race already, so lap one and he can't even see it through to the end, so that's really unfortunate. So that's not going to do the constructors well.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy lap one. Mizzy's going to be loving this. They managed to jump everyone off the line, and now they can relax a bit. Cohen as well managed to do everything he needed. Pursoon once again struggling in the start of a race, and that is a drive-through penalty there for Gibby, unfortunately. Not what we want to see. It happens, unfortunately, sometimes. Now, Mizzy leads the way. Cohen reacts pretty nicely. Pursoon as well. They do have a bit of a gap. And then we got JJ and this is Vale. This is Vale. Is he going to look for a move already on JJ? Qualifying for him didn't matter as well. It's amazing start from him right off the line, looking to both Ferraris. I think Benjamin tried to come back at him into turn two. That's a side-by-side moment with the Aston and the Red Bull of Heisler. And they're both squirming on the circuit. Here comes the Alpine, who's going to look at possibly making a move on both of these guys. There's a mistake there for Heisler? I don't know, but they lost it. Niffo stays ahead for now. That was an interesting situation. Has anybody got damage here? I don't know. Gibby stays out for now.
Yeah, I'm on a bit of damage there. And also, you see Niffo and Heish going side by side. And Niffo just lost a car bit, which forced Heish to have to take avoiding action. I think they made a bit of contact almost. And then Heisler lost the back end. So it's a bit carnage at the moment. Speaking of, this is Vales looking for a move on JJ, maybe down the inside into Dignus. I think this is proof that JJ might be running a low down force setup as he makes a bit of a mistake and he manages to keep it out of the wall, unlike Zingy. And coming into the hairpin now, JJ is going to keep it down the inside, but he just can't get the traction. Now Ben's going to go down the inside of JJ. He's going to do the old switcheroo on him, and he's done it, but JJ, remember, has got that straight line speed, but he doesn't seem to have too much over Ben, so maybe Ben's got some straight line speed up his sleeve. And he keeps it, he keeps P5. JJ drops 2 positions in half a sector. Wow.
Absolutely incredible. Benjamin spotted the opportunity, slipped up the inside. Brilliant job from him. Well done. That is a great, great move. And this is Vale now. Starts their hunt to the top 3 as they were, of course, battling Pursoon and Cohen last time around in Bahrain. Mizzy's in the battle. We know their pace is very good. They've just had some very, very sketchy moments this season, of course, starting the season off with a win. Let's hope Mizzy can have some good luck. They're now in clean air and doing a brilliant job, so they do look like they could have a good chance at this. Words 100. This is Vale making a bit of a mistake into turn 1. Maybe that shows the downforce, the lack of it, as this is Vale does go for a quick spin at turn 2. That's going to drop them behind Robbo and maybe Frantic if they're not careful. Oh no, Mizzy leading the way. That's promoting Benjamin up to P3. Mizzy lost it at Dunlop or just before that, I don't know. That's Robbo who gets past. Mizzy's back in this, but their tires are going to be pretty toasty.
Yeah, Mizzy's tires are going to be absolutely screaming for help, and Robbo out of all of this just keeps on moving up positions. So the leader of the championship, I believe, he's just making up positions. And he just doesn't have to do anything, he just needs to keep it out of the wall, and he's doing that at the moment, and he's just making his way through the field. So at the moment he's P5, because my Niffo isn't actually an F1.5 driver. So he's doing well at the moment to keep it on the track, but he's got Mizzy that his tyres seem to have cooled down now, under pressure, on the medium tyre, so he will be a couple tenths faster a lap, as it looks. So he's very close now, and is he going to go for the move? Is he going to go for it? Yes, down the inside, just before 130 yard. This is going to get very feisty. He stays up the inside, and Robin decides to back out. Smart decision from him.
Yeah, very, very, very smart. It's lap 3 out of 27. There's no need to be doing that right now. We got Niffo just up ahead. who's going to possibly look at making a move on JJ, but no, they do lose it on the exit of the final corner, and they won't be able to challenge for a move. So, it's a yellow somewhere behind. That's unfortunately PJ making a mistake. Hopefully they can get back into this later. Dingy, you said the championship leader, Robbo. They are the championship leader, joint with This Is Vale. This Is Vale has 2 wins this season, so that's why they are actually classed as the championship leader. Both championship leaders. Not quite at the front at the moment, but it's a long race to go. We've got a big train here, starting with Benjamin.
This looks sort of familiar from another race I participated in. You know, there's a massive train, a couple setting gap to the top 2. So it's looking like these guys could run away maybe together if they use each other. Not use each other, but try and help each other along. As we see Mizzy go for the move on Niffle, was that? Into the hairpin, and he makes it work on those medium tyres. He actually does have some pace even after that little spin. So he's back up to P5 now, and he's going to be hunting down JG. But remember, he's got a lot of straight line speed. As Ben's round! Ben into Spoon, we said it's difficult to keep the corner straight line, and he's just done a little pirouette on the exit, and he just... Oh, that's a shame for Ben. He was looking so good. Because he almost makes it with another spin there, but maybe proving that there might not be much downforce in some of these cars.
Yeah, really trying to put the limit on the setup, because you want to have the advantage down the back straight to 130R into the final chicane, of course. But for now, DRS is available for Mizzy. Is he going to be able to get back to P3 already? He's got a lot of speed in that car. JJ goes defensive. Going to have to take a slightly more inside line, but no opportunity will arise into turn 2 for Mizzy. Great pressure to be put on right now, but that's Nifo down to P5. Bit of contact as they made that overtake Mizzy. Nothing other than hard racing, however. So luckily, it's all good, as JJ makes a big mistake, and that is Mizzy going onto the grass, going to lose a position, and Robbo is also going to challenge. No, they back out. That is extremely wise. I couldn't say that even... I don't think there's anything wiser than that in almost racing ever. Yes, okay. So anyway, that was pretty scary. JJ's now having to go defensive to Nifojan, as he I don't know. I don't know what that mistake was just before Dunlop. Mizzy's going to be furious. Got a little bit more work to do, but Nifo, he can work together with Nifo because he is a higher tier driver. He doesn't need to worry.
Yeah, but JJ could also use his help. Imagine Niffle gets past and JJ with the DRS is defending from Mizzy. With that straight line speed, I think he'll be unstoppable. So is Niffle going to go for the movement at 130R? He's a higher tier driver, so I presume he's going to wait, at least for the castle triangle. But here comes Mizzy. He says, I'm going to go up the inside of Niffle. He's going to make him really scared. As he goes back up the inside again, it's like a suicide attempt dive bomb. It's insane, and he makes the move work. He's scared Niffle off the track, and now Robbo is now up into P5. Wow, Niffle got scared of Mizzy, and there he's lost 2 positions, so that's really unfortunate for him. As Mizzy, he's going to look for the move on JJ, but no, he backs out. He thinks smarter of it, and JJ makes a little bit of a mistake, but he manages to keep it on track, and that's still him in P3, but Mizzy back up to P4 already.
Yeah, JJ doing a great job at defending. Mizzy is absolutely incredible in a straight line. Nifo couldn't really do anything other than back out because he just needs to try and have a minimal impact on this race. Although it doesn't mean that you can just bully the other cars off track, of course. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Nifo's going to have to find another way through these guys. They all want to try and get moves. So yeah, it is what it is. Mizzy going once again to the inside of the hairpin. On the exit, it's a drag race as they're so close to contact. Now it's going to be who gets the straight line speed, and they are wheel banging, trying to leave each other minimum space. That's Mizzy going to be ahead, but they didn't actually make it within track limits. So JJ's not going to be happy. He did back off, so Mizzy has just about made that move. It's aggressive. He knows what he's got to do. It's what he's... Oh, 130R side by side. Robbo once again backing out. He's just going to have to let it go. Is JJ going to try and challenge? No. Nifo so close to outbraking himself. There's contact between the Alpine and the Red Bull. That's going to be a split, and JJ is round. It's all broken up. I do not believe it. DRS for Nifo. Not Nifo, for Robbo, and that is going to be Robbo through. Crazy.
I don't know if I should say this, but I was kind of secretly rooting for JJ there if he's low downforce. He had a great chance to do well this race as he struggled a bit through it this season, but just pushing a bit too hard on those hard tyres and he kind of just lost the back end, so that's unfortunate. All this carnage has seen Mizzy up into P3, but 6.8 seconds behind the leaders. That's incredible.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I want to say, Mizzy, it was aggressive, but you say just about fair? I mean, I don't know. It kind of worked, whether it was a nice thing to do or not. They were very, very close to having a big, big crash with JJ, but I don't know if that's just kind of racing incident as they both tried to leave each other minimal room. It is what it is for now. We'll have to check in on it later on. Pursoon is behind Current. As you said, these guys are breaking away massively. Lap 7 out of 27. 6 tenths between these two. No one's going to be really going for an overtake at the moment. They're just making sure that they have a nice gap, and then they can maybe switch the strategy up a little bit. Niffo going to the inside once again, and Niffo's back. Robbo's backing out. Robbo is getting passed so many times to 130R. I think that's probably one of the most popular corners of the circuit. Robbo's going to immediately get back past. And that is, unless Niffo can have the straight line speed advantage, but no. Right now, he's just going to have to let it go. Robbo will take the racing line, and Niffo's going to have to try another move to 130R if he wants to get through.
People might call it no ball from Robbo, which I sort of agree with, but in a way, look at him. He's still in P4. He's playing it really smart. He's letting people go into 130R. He's very close still, so he just needs to stay close, which is what he's doing, putting them under pressure. Niffo kind of fell for the trap, lost it under the pressure of Robbo, and now he's back up in the P4, so he's doing a great job at the moment of retaining position.
Yeah, the survival game is working, and it will get you a lot of points if you play it right, so very, very, very good job from him so far. After all this action that we've had this race, he's doing a good job. We've got Benjamin, who's been catching up fairly nicely, to be honest, as these guys have been fighting, so he could get into this battle pretty soon. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Heischler also behind. We've got Frantic JJ. This is Vale in P10 trying to get back up through. They're very close to the back of JJ. They might want to have a look sooner rather than later. Let's have a quick check-in on this, although is Niffo going to be looking at Robbo? No, they're not. So this is Vale. He's very close. Is he going to look for the chicane, or is he going to look for something else? I don't quite know. He's not close enough, and he's not getting a good enough run either.
Yeah, JJ with that straight line speed, he just can't do anything. As we see, here comes Niffo on the inside of Robbo into turn 1, and he's done it. He's up into P4 finally. Is this his chance to run away? No, he just makes a mistake. Again, Niffo under the pressure. He just can't stop making these mistakes, but he finally makes it up into P4, and now he needs to run away. This is his chance to run away, although he has little battery. If you've seen the straight, he was flashing, and Robbo seems to have an abundance of it, so at this rate, Robbo could just stay within his DRS, but Niffo showing the pace in the first sector, so maybe this is his time to run away.
Yeah, he's trying to break away so he can create a minimum impact on this race, so fair enough. He just needs to make sure he doesn't make mistakes, because of course if you are a lower tier driver, you don't want to fight the higher tier drivers as such, but if you don't fight them, it could cause you some problems. Mizzy's actually lost time to the cars ahead, I believe, unless he just wasn't escaping. He's not catching to the cars ahead. I don't know if the DRS is actually that powerful, but yeah, he's maybe made a mistake. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite remember the gap. This is Vale. Did get ahead of JJ, but they've lost it again. There was actually contact with this is Vale and JJ into the final chicane, but they managed to get the move done into turn 1 and 2 on the DRS straight. Now, let's have a look. No, they didn't actually make the move. This is Vale is going to have a second opportunity at making this. They're riding really wide on that curb. Now, DRS, is it going to be available? No, they've dipped the grass with their front tyre, which is going to make it difficult for their run. DRS available though, as JJ is there. Is he going to get a good enough run with the top end speed at the end of the straight? No, he won't. He's really struggling to get past that Williams, which is so powerful in a straight line today.
What would have been if he just didn't make that mistake? He could have just been up in, what, P4, P3 after all these guys keep making mistakes, and they've probably defended from level, I'm going to say it. And probably defended from me as well, just so I don't sound cocky. He probably would have defended from most people, if I'm honest, maybe excluding esports drivers, but look at him, he just manages to keep it on the straight. He's just rapid, and... Oh no, his Heish is out of the second dig, and he lost the back end maybe on the curb, and a safety car is out on lap 10 again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we might see some pit stops here, but I'm telling you for a fact, if it's onto mediums, they will not make it to the end, and if they do, it is going to be very marginal. They're going to have to save tyres like mental, and they might even lose a pit stops advantage if they do so. Ammo into the pit lane, will he get lapped at this rate? Maybe he should have went for another lap. So he might be getting lapped. Depends on what the leader's doing. Cohen out of the final corner. Is he going to decide to pit? He is. Is Pursuing? Yes. Mizzy is going to be loving this. He's going to pit onto the hards, not have to make another pit stop. Mizzy is in the running to win this race at the moment. As we see, I think everyone's coming in. What do you think?
I want to say, what would you go for?
Oh no.
Penalty for Mizzy. What tyre would you go for? Would you pit if you're on the hards? What would you do?
Hards, I'd go into the... Sorry, I'm thrown off by Benjamin's move on to the soft tyre. I'd go mediums and then do the two-stop as I done.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so, yeah, looking at what just happened going into the pit lane, Ben has gone for the softs. Is it a mistake? Is it maybe an idea to try and make track position and then go on to the mediums later when everybody else will struggle? As you did see, of course, Zingy go and pull in a massive gap to the cars ahead, so it is possible. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. Maybe he's confident that there's going to be a safety car. We'll have to wait and see. Now, time penalty for Mizzy. He also got held up in the pit lane as well, so he's dropped from P3 all the way to P6. Not only he got that 5 seconds, so he's going to have to make his way up the grid and later on extend by 5 seconds, because he's not planning to make another pit stop, ideally for him. So, and actually, probably not having another safety car would be a benefit for him, because he would have a chance to break away. I was thinking, what lap would the switchover period be, would you predict?
From mediums to hards, or soft to medium?
Mediums to hard.
I'd say lap 20... Oh no, we're going to be racing what, lap 13? So 22, 23 I think is going to be the time where they're going to most likely switch over. Benjamin soft tyres out. What? I'm not going to... Ben's going to have to make positions up like he's like Ayrton Senna in a wet, mate. Honestly. He's going to overtake all these cars in one lap. If not, I'm sorry to say, Ben, but you might be a bit muddied. Because those soft tyres after 2-3 laps are going to be not only cooked, but worn out to like the carcass. It's not going to be looking good. And you may think that's an exaggeration, but this track will eat tyres for breakfast, as we see Robbo making a pit stop and he speeds in the pit lane. There's no need to go that fast into the pit lane. He's got front wing damage from potentially running into someone. I'm not too sure. JJ's also in the pits with no front wing damage, pitting onto another set of mediums, serving the 5 seconds too. Do you think JJ is seeing the vision and going to the end?
Yeah, I think he's fairly far down the grid, so he's pretty much got nothing to lose by doing that. Gibby's trying to go for qualifying laps in the safety car, so just use those track limits. Got to be careful. Interesting for Robbo, but yeah, you've got to get those wings changed, and he's going to have a lap fresher tyres, which is going to be a slight benefit. But speeding into the pit lane, it's such a bumpy pit lane entry, and that's what's going to catch a lot of people out. They think they can send it in, they go for it, then the bump comes, and they all of a sudden lose some braking performance. It catches out so many people, and also it's downhill on entry, so you're going to lose some performance from that as well. Yes, it's all relative, but it can be a little bit tricky. Who's going to be able to get the advantage out of worn out tyres later on into this race? Not quite sure, to be honest. We'll have
I
to
think
wait
Ben,
and see.
honestly.
Ben? Yeah, he's going to be going to a fresh set of mediums at some point, so he will be able to have a pretty nice end to the race. He will have to make that extra pit stop, though. Would there be another safety car? We'll have to see. We've got Cohen leading the way right now. Might go into the pit lane this lap. And then we got Pursoon, Nifo, Benjamin, Mizzy, Frantic, this is Vel, PJ, Robbo, JJ, Gibby, and Ammo at the back, who will be now back into this race. Just to clarify, when I said going to the pit lane, I meant safety car restart. It's not got the confirmation just yet. Would it be as we go into the chicane, or is it not going to go in at all? I think it's a little bit too late.
Maybe so, but you know this game, Ammo catching up now. See, in this lap, as it's about to, well, not go at the pit lane, and Cohen's going to be the one to restart, and he's gone already. He's legged it, and he's already 5-6 tenths ahead. Here comes Nifljan behind on those medium tyres. He's going to be looking to get ahead of these guys immediately. Further back, we see this is Vale going up the inside of Frantic into turn 1, and he makes a move up into P6. This is Vale, not wasting any time at all. And he's made the move out the P6, and there goes Frantic in the wall. He's not out of the race, but he loses his front wing. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have to do a whole lap without a front wing now. But Cohen lead for Pursoon, Niffle, and Benjamin.
Crazy stuff there, as the tyres are going to be so cold with that late safety car restart call, and that does mean Frantic gets caught out, unfortunately. Everybody else for now is staying in with the pack. We have, of course, you said this is Vale making that move. Benjamin, he's not quite there at the moment. His tyres are going to warm up nicely, but no, there's contact, and Mizzy goes into the back of him. The tyres are now going to be pretty useless. Robbo jumps him as he's made that pit stop, but he's pretty much got back to close to where he was earlier on. So fair enough to him, but yeah, that's actually absolutely tragic for Benjamin and his strategy at the moment.
As Robbo makes a bit of a mistake out of Spoon, and here comes Ben. The move down the inside, they're getting squeezed onto the grass nearly, and then Ben decides to push Robbo over into 130 yard. Now I don't think either of these guys are going to back out. Big rivalry reminders, they make contact through 130 yard. It's incredible. Robbo doesn't back out, and Ben sends it up the inside. He's not having any of that. He pushes Robbo a bit wide. Robbo tries to push Ben onto the curb a little bit, but he gets the traction down out of the last corner. Ben squeezes him onto the grass nearly. As here comes PJ. PJ's going to make advantage of this into turn 1. It's going to be free wide. I don't know what's going to happen here. PJ backs out smartly, and Ben takes the position. He moves back up into P6 with PJ into P7.
And
as Robbo makes a mistake.
Fortunately, Robbo may be getting a little bit distracted by all of that, and that's going to be him down the order. Frantic gives up into the pit lane, which is a heck of a shame. Robbo, he's going to have to try and get back into this a little bit later on. We've still got a long way to go, just under halfway of this race left, so it's not over yet. Nifo gets ahead of Pursoon in the meantime. Pursoon P3. They have Mizzy behind. Mizzy's not too far away despite being on that hard tyre, so he's still got a lot of pace in that car, and the longer he can close and maybe even get DRS, the easier it will be for him later on to make that gap with that time penalty. This is Vale. He needs to get past Mizzy right away. He has no time to waste. So, yeah, got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Mizzy, of course, having that time penalty, he's going to be a bit... And those hard tyres, sorry, he's going to be a bit slow, but later on in the race, as I said, about maybe like lap 21, 22, he's going to come into his own. And that's, I think, when it starts hitting the cliff a little bit, it's going to hit hard. It's going to be dreadful. It's onto the straight now. DRS is available this lap, isn't it? Now, as Niffle sits the fastest lap, he seems to really want to get past Cone here, moving to the inside. His DRS is enabled now. Coming into turn 1, Cone makes a bit of a mistake actually, as he moves back onto the racing line, which is fine, but Niffle tried to look for a move, but he just can't seem to find a way for it at the moment. He's going to have to wait. Maybe into the hairpin. Do you reckon he'll go for a move? I think.
I don't know. He's got to make sure he doesn't take too many risks. But his idea here is to just get into clean air, focus on just driving the car instead of battling, because he doesn't want to be involved in any collisions. And maybe Curran can try and realise that. So yeah, he's got to try and make sure he loses minimal time. Not a good enough exit for Nifo to get a move into the hairpin. So he's going to have to wait for a separate opportunity. But we'll see. Maybe Nifo can use a bit of straight line speed with some slipstream to make a move in a little while. We'll have to wait and see. Pursuit right behind, so if Kern does fight a little bit too hard, he's going to possibly lose that position. Mizzy also is really close. He's doing an amazing job on these medium tyres, and it's the hard tyres. It's not exactly easy for this Vel on the mediums to catch up. That is Nifo gaining a bit of time as they go through 130R. Is he going to go for the move into the chicane? No, he's going to get the DRS first and then go for the move, which I think is probably the safer option.
Yeah, Nifo onto the straight now. Pursuing lurking close behind. As he gets to DRS, it's going to be a simple move, I believe. Cohen decides to use a bit of DRS, but then realises he's going to shoot past anyway. Maybe defending from pursuing behind, which is actually a very smart thing to do. Nifo running a bit wide, but he keeps the position into turn 1. Nifo up in the Italy Grand Prix. He'll probably shoot on by now, and now it's going to be up to Pursuing and Mizzy to put Cohen under pressure as he loses the back end a little bit into the little chicane power there. So maybe Cohen's struggling already with the dirty air as he makes more mistakes coming out of Dunlop and into the Dignus. It's not a move, a place where you make a move, sorry, but maybe he can size himself up for the chicane. Let's see on exit. Does he get a good enough exit? No, he doesn't. He's going to have to stay behind for the moment.
I was going to say Pursuit would have probably had some... never mind, Mizzy going to go for the inside. They've had to ride the curve. Unfortunately, that's it for them. Retirement there for Gibby. No safety car, hopefully. Well, that is a voluntary retirement. It is what it is. Now, that is current. Right, P2. I was going to say Pursuit's probably going to have to fight him here to just at least make him lose DRS to Nifo ahead, but Curran making a few mistakes in the S section. It's not really, and there's no need to actually do that. Now, this is Vale is now in the train. We've got another train formed here, and Curran still leads the train. He's just in P2 instead. Of course, P1 for the EU drivers, though, so it is an advantage. Nifo goes for a fastest lap as he proves his pace right now. Pursuit is catching up. He's not going to be in a position to make a move for a while just yet. Not too much ERS to charge though.
As Ben makes a mistake into turn 1 and he's just going to let PJ go. Those soft tyres really not working out. I was just about to mention him as well, how 7 laps on those soft tyres and thereabout, and look at him, he just can't turn into any of the corners, no bite from the tyre. And this strategy is definitely not paid off. He tried to take a risk, I'll give him that, but I mean, yeah, he spins as well. I mean, I'm honestly not surprised. I'm not saying Ben's a bad driver. Ben's champion, for goodness sake, but those tyres are just not up to any standard whatsoever, aren't they? It's Mizzy. Mizzy goes for a move down the inside of Pursuit, I believe, and he's going to squeeze him onto the curb a little bit, making a bit of contact as he loses a bit of the car. Mizzy with no battery though, so maybe Pursuit can get back, but Mizzy now up into P2 for the EU drivers as he goes a bit wide but manages to just about keep it on track. But he's doing really well at the moment. He made the move, and then here comes this is Vale on the back of Pursuit coming into 130R, but Pursuit manages to defend nicely. Is he looking for a move maybe on Mizzy? Mizzy seems to be struggling on the straight without any ERS whatsoever into the Casio triangle, but no, he decides to stay behind for now and get the move maybe for him on the straight, but I don't think he's got a good enough exit.
So Mizzy, as we saw earlier on, he is actually very, very quick in the straight line, so maybe confident enough to use that ERS to make that move. Now save while he's in P2 of the train. Oh, but no, he's going to send it to the inside. It's not going to go to plan. He goes off the circuit. That's 2 positions lost. Still in the battle, though. That is a very, very nice save after a very opportunistic move.
I mean, Mizzy tried it up the inside, Cohen went a bit wide, but he just couldn't make the move stick. His Pursuing spins out of Dunlop, proving that it's not only catching champions out, but people who are fighting for it as well. He just can't seem to take the car around either. He's lost all that time, and now he's going to be behind Robbo, who's now in P8, Pursuing battling for the win, and that just shows how easily it can be snatched away from you.
Yeah, as these tyres age slightly, it's overheating.
He's gone again.
Gone again. So more time lost. Is that damage for him? No, he's still managing to stay in this, but it might be time to consider a fastest lap. not got too long to go in this race, 10 laps or 9.5 laps really, which is gonna be a slight struggle to catch up, although it's not gonna be impossible. They got a couple hard runners in front of them, which they can catch time up now. But yeah, that's such a shame. Tyres overheating in the dirty air potentially. Curran leads the way as they've now managed to break away from this as Vale. Mizzy has done enough to stay within DRS as this is Vale, so this is Vale's got to find some pace, otherwise they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, this is Vale's. I mean, he's not been doing too bad this race, hasn't he? He's qualified quite poorly, but he managed to do very well as Mizzy. Still keeping behind, and maybe Mizzy is just finding pace on that hard tyre. He seemed to be very good on mediums, making up positions, and now he's able to stay with the new medium runners, so Mizzy's got every chance of winning this race. That 5-second penalty though is locking over his head, and he needs to get a move on, preferably now more than anything. Those tyres are going to start switching around about now, but mostly within the next lap or two, as he makes a bit of a mistake into the second dig now. So he needs to really just push on now, make the moves, and then push away 5 seconds. But for now, it's looking a bit dire.
Yeah, I think if he made that move, of course, he would have had 10 laps to get 5 seconds to half a second per lap, which would have been very possible, especially to later on in this race. Now, he's got 2 cars to overtake. No DRS at this stage. He might have an advantage on this straight though, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he's got 2 cars to overtake and less than 10 laps to make the move. So Curran, right now it's in his hands. DRS is available for This Is Vale though. So could This Is Vale make it 3 in a row?
Well, that's the question, but the answer might not be so simple, as Cohen's shown great pace the whole race, and coming onto the straight now, he just seems to have that gap, but Cohen unnecessarily burning ERS. Maybe he's a bit fearful of this as well. I mean, if someone's came off for 2 wins in a row, I would be quite fearful of him too. So he's got every reason to try and defend as much as he can. As Mizzy, does he make a mistake there? Was that a bit of lag? I couldn't really tell. As Robbo goes from a move on ammo into turn 1, a little DRS overtake, and that's him up into P7.
Yeah, I apologise for the camera work there, sorry about that. I kept on going to the wrong car, but that is Robbo making that move on ammo there. So JJ would be up next. They're both on equal tyres. Robbo, of course, has got that 5-second penalty, so he's got to make that move and then start gapping, which is going to be so difficult, especially on an equal tyre. It is what it is for now, nothing he can do about it. Back to the front runners, however, this is Vale looking to go for the move already. So, looking to the outside, it closes off, he decides to back out immediately. He's just going to sit behind that Williams, maybe go for a move even before the chicane.
Maybe so, coming onto the back straight now, into 130R. No way he's going to go for a move here. He's got the slipstream at least, but it looks as though Cohen's got some straight line speed without even using battery. So into the 130R corner now, flat out and into the Castle Triangle. Will he go for the move? He's really teasing Cohen here, putting him under a lot of pressure. Will he get the good enough run on the straight? He gets a good run, but he loses the back end a little bit, and that might just cancel his run for this lap. That's unfortunate.
I thought he was going to go for a move, because if he could have gone for a move and maybe opened the steering, it's aggressive, opened the steering up and allowed Mizzy to get into P2 into the train, that could have helped him, because then he'd have a car in between and Mizzy would have, a bit of a mistake there for This Is Vale, Mizzy would have had that time penalty, so it's unlikely for him to really get such an advantage. But that was Mizzy looking so close to making a move, and now all of a sudden so far away.
Made a bit of contact with This Is Vale, so it looks as though maybe, I'm hoping not, I hope he doesn't have damage. It's a bit of a hefty knock, to be fair, I don't know if he caught it, but it looks as though he's struggling a little bit, but let's hope for his sake it's not damage and just a bit of a confidence knock for now. But if so, he'll probably gain that very quickly with these medium runners having a bit of a scrap once again. Here comes This Is Vale, but he just can't do anything at the moment. Cohen just seems to be fast in the perfect zones. This Is Vale fast in the first sector, but what has that got to do with the third sector? Because Cohen just seems to get a good exit off of here, which he does again. But yet again, as This Is Vale makes a mistake, and now he's able to defend. So if he can just keep on doing this for the last 6-7 laps, he'll probably win, but it's going to be easier said than done it. Oh, here comes Mizzy into 130 yards. He pushes. He doesn't push This Is Vale wide, but he gets steered off the track. Mizzy up into P3 to make contact, and they've spun Cohen round. And this is Vale is now going to be all over the back of him. This is Vale looking to being attacked. Down in P4, down and out, into P2, maybe now. This is Mizzy using all his ERS. He's got nothing left. Into turn 1, and that is Mizzy retaining taking the leads under interesting circumstances, but that's a shame for Cohen as he makes more mistakes as he's got a lot of heat into those tyres, too much heat, and that's just unfortunate really. Cohen was looking so well maybe for a win, back on track, but now he's battling Robbo for P5. Robbo's going to look for the move, is he? Of course he's got warm tyres, he's slow as hell. Not to blame him, of course, he got knocked around, but Robbo's going to look for the move. Around the outside into the first Igna, he backs out Cohen, squeezing him fairly, but he squeezes him, and now JJ's got a lot of battery, so maybe JJ can make a move soon.
Yeah, it'd be good for him because obviously they're teammates.
Robbo!
Interesting way to go for a move. Very, very strange, is what it is. Now, yeah, Mizzy is into the lead of this race at the moment, but of course that little collision might change things later on. They're only going to get quicker, so the question is how much can they extend to this Vale, and would it be enough to cover anything off later on? Now, Robbo is pretty close. JJ, would they be able to get anything here? It's just going to be about Slipstream and DRS for these two. JJ needs to try and get into this battle if he wants to help. That is Robbo. Oh, JJ almost making contact there as he makes a mistake, and that might now be any wingman defense there for JJ gone.
Well, here comes Robbo in the straight. As turn 1 is Vale pits for soft tyres with a couple of laps to go. This is Vale is going to go to the outside into turn 1. He sweeps right around, pushes onto the curb a little bit, Cohen does, but he retains P4 for now. That's a good defence from Cohen. Nice and fair, tough racing. And for now, he's just clinging on to what he's got left. And JJ could make a lot of stuff happen here if these two continue to battle.
Yeah, very, very, very good defending from Cohen. He's still got a long way to go. Many, many laps of this with no battery, so it's going to be pretty difficult. Why is this Vale into the pit lane?
Well, because his tyres must have been dead. That's the only explanation. Remember what happened to, it was Luke, wasn't it? Luke pitted on lap 25. Maybe because his tyres were on 80%, and this is Vale. They pitted around about at the same time in mind, so maybe he was starting to get into that territory, seen the vision, and then pitted himself earlier so he can actually make something happen.
That is side by side, but it's not going to work. It's always going to be very, very treacherous. They attempted it, it went wrong. That is a heck of a shame. Robbo's now going to be down the order. They were up P4 a while ago. More issues, more issues, more issues, and now they're in P8. Managing to jump. This is Vale. This is Vale. It's going to be pretty quick to the end. Maybe on the last few laps they might slow down, but it's not going to be anything to really worry about for them.
Ammo being a little sneaky up into P4 for the EU drivers. He's had a horrific start, let's be honest. He was down, nearly a lap down at a point, but now he's up into P4, not too far off the leading with the two Williams. So Ammo, on his debut, is looking for a strong, even maybe a podium if these two tussle, but remember they are teammates, so I don't think they'll have it out for each other too much.
Yeah, it's whether that hard tyre is significantly better than this medium. What showed yesterday, it's significantly better, but time will tell. Time will tell for sure. Now, Anna's got no time penalties, JJ as well. It's going to be an interesting situation. Will Cohen try and push and try anything to catch up to Mizzy, or is he going to get JJ into his DRS and just try and prevent Ammo from catching up? I don't quite know. I don't think he's really thinking about it too much after the race he's had so far. Some very, very difficult situations for him, and that is yet another potential race win taken out of his hands. Yeah, taken out of his hands.
It was faulted, fair. It was. Let's be honest. These things happen, mistakes happen, and it looks like Cohen, for now, could maybe win depending on the penalty situation after the race, but for now, Mizzy leading, Cohen second, and JJ. I said I'm secretly looking for him. I'm still am. JJ in P3 at the moment. He just needs to look after his tyres. His teammate has no battery left, so maybe if he can just catch up a little bit, Cohen maybe making a mistake. he can get up into P2. JJ, this is the closest he's ever got to a win, isn't it?
Possibly. I mean, he was running, I think, in P1 or 2 back in the old game at Brazil. Unfortunately, had a bit of a pit stop issue, spun on pit exit. But yeah, still, this is a very, very good result for him, and it would be so, so good for Williams as they would be able to jump ahead of a lot of people in the championship. So some good points could come around, and this is what we want to see from the Williams boys, as they used to be in the championship battles back in the day. They dropped off a little bit, but now the team's championship could be alive here if they can keep this going. Lap 25 out of 27, not too long to go now, and it looks like it might be pretty much over, but Ammo is going to be the one to watch here as he gets ready for a move.
You want to know something interesting? You know, JJ actually attended the 1988 Japanese Grand Prix. He did.
Did he really? Fair enough.
Nah, he's not that old. I don't know. I'm joking. JJ, I'm sorry. I'm joking.
Fair enough. I thought he was going to be a fossil then, but never mind. Maybe as a child when he visited. But yeah. Anyway, enough of that. In the chat, lovely stuff. Now we've got Ammo, who will possibly look at a move. They lost 3/10 on that straight though, and did JJ do enough to get the DRS? The fossil might have a go here. No, they didn't do enough to get DRS, but it's 2 laps to go. And they gain 3/10, so it looks quite possible that they'll be good here. And in addition, this is Vale is right behind, and he might challenge Ammo here. So we've got a bit of an interesting situation to finish off this race. Who do you think is going to come out on top? I know you're going to say JJ.
Well, he's got the ERS. He's got a lot more ERS than he's got most ERS out of us actually.
Mizzy's round. Mizzy's round.
Wait, what? Oh no. Oh no. Wait, pole jump. Wait, no. Never mind. Front wing. No. Front wing is off. Front wing's off. Is it? Wait, he's left. What's he doing? Why is he left? No. There's no chance to win this race.
Possible theory, he might have some wheel issues, because he's had some pretty bad wheel issues in the past. So Mizzy, from leading the race by a significant margin now, on the final few laps it could get taken away unless he can rejoin. But I don't know if he's going to have to make a pit stop. His AI probably will. This is Vale, does make that move on Ammo immediately, and he's going to go for the potential double. Now he's got a long way to go up this straight, and he's probably going to have to go for it into the chicane. Otherwise, he's going to have no chance at fighting this. He will have one opportunity to get to Cohen as long as he makes a move on JJ on this DRS straight. JJ's a slippery sloth in a straight line. Here we go though. Wow, that's absolutely incredible on that soft tyre. DRS available, but no! Despite having the DRS, that's JJ going to be outpacing him in a straight line. He can't fight it. Wants to look to the inside, has to send it. No way! Cohen spins, there's contact! Cohen is retired from the race! I do not believe it! This is Vale, just about gets ahead. Cohen's out! I don't understand what's just happened. That's this is Vale in P3, JJ in P4 now, and that is all. Contact again. Ammo is unfortunately tagged, but they just about keep it in the straight line. That now promotes this is Vale into P3 overall and to a P1 position for the EU drivers.
Robo's round to dig the 2, and that's going to allow Ben to catch up. If he can't get it around quickly enough, Ben will be able to catch up. What is going on in this last lap? JJ's defending from Ammo now. Coming on to the last lap. Well, he says it is the last lap now. Ammo is going to be putting JJ under pressure. This is Vale was absolutely run away, by the way. Neville's going to win for the F1 drivers, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know that. But back on board with this, JJ, he's not got a wing, mind. He's not got a wing at all. He's going to defend to the inside. He's going to use all the battery that he can. Coming into the dig, not the dig, there's 130 on now. He's got enough downforce to just about keep it into the last corner now. He's going to defend, hopefully for his sake. Is he going to do it? This is Vale wins the race for the EU drivers. Fantastic. JJ is going to hold on to P2. However, Ammo's going to get it on penalties. And JJ finishing P3 after all that. Robbo P4. Ben 5th. Mizzy disconnected in 6th. and Pursuing is last, going to possibly take the fastest lap. But boah, that is, yeah.
Not what I expected, I think is the correct term, on that final few laps. It was Mizzy, then it was Curran, then Curran spun. It seemed, I need to see a replay. Yeah, such a shame for so many people, but this is Vale has managed to come out on top. From down in qualifying, up the order, down again, on a soft tyre, by the way, has won the race. Soft tyre. And no late safety car. Crazy. Crazy.
Speechless.
Yeah. Absolutely immense stuff. That is round 5 done. Nifajan, of course, taking the overall win. He deserves some sort of recognition for that. Of course, we didn't see him for most of the race. Well, most of the second part of the race, of course. We saw him quite a bit at the beginning. But this is Vale making it 3 in a row, and he is going to be leading the championship by a nice amount. Nifojan takes the win. PJ, this is Vale, Amo, JJ, Benjamin, Robbo, Mizzy, Pursuit taking the fastest lap in P9. Then we got Curran, who will score a couple points. Then we got DNFing was Gibby, Frantic, Heisler, and Gilly earlier on. Looking through the race director just in case if we need to. And then, of course, the pit stops as well. Just in case it was a hectic race, so we might have to have a quick look. We'll be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Japanese Grand Prix. That was a crazy one in the end. Yeah, I'm not really going to say too much more than that, otherwise I'll waste too much time. Actually, we start with you. Crash on the exit of the tunnel, and that was it. Safety car. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, everybody knows curbs in this game are quite inconsistent sometimes. Yeah, and that happened to me. I beached on it and yep, car gone.
0101 hash road said Aaron.
Sorry for that. Yeah, not ideal. Is what it is. Imola, do you think this will make Imola seem a little bit better if you can get a good result? Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words? Ouch. Yeah, not nice, but it is what it is. Thank you very much for watching. Not watching. Thank you very much for racing, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. We move on to Robbo. Robbo, up and down. That's all I can say.
It was going well at the start. Well, not the very start because we'll forget about that spinning quali. But yeah, it was going well onto the hards. I was kind of just stuck behind Niffer, to be honest. I didn't want to overtake because I knew he was faster, so I was just like, yeah, I'll just let him turn me along. I'm fine with that. And then a safety car came out. Of course, we were going to pit, but the pitters were really slow. I ended up getting wing damage, and then when I pitted again, I wasn't focusing on the pit limiter, and I got a 5-second time penalty. So when that safety car came in really, really late, my heart kind of dropped, and I was like, oh god, I can't pit again. So that was sort of any chance of a real good finish over, and then I spun near the end, so Benjamin was able to get a place on me. But yeah, it is what it is. At least we're getting some points on the board for Alpine. That's all I can ask for. Yeah,
I think that helps you maintain the lead of the championship, so that's all that really matters from this one. Imola, is that a good track? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's a nice track. I like it. It's always fun. It's all right for racing. I mean, there's not many overtaking spots, but it can for sure get a bit interesting. I know Dave's good at Imola, so that'll be good for Alpine.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
All right, so this one is for Zach. I am Batman.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thanks. See ya.
We move on to Benjamin. Ben, brilliant beginning to the race. Lots of battles later on. Drop down the order, but a move on the end to time penalties. Are you happy with that?
Not really.
Oh.
I did my my motorbike league race before, so I kind of got the mind of doing motorbike lines, what on very quick in an F1 car, so it never helps. But I got a decent start and then made a mistake, then made another mistake, and then the game put me on softs for some reason. Even though I had medium selected, I didn't even move it. Don't understand how that one happened. And then it was just crossed my fingers people had to pit or a safety car because it was done game after that.
So, game bug screwed you over there. That's not what we like to see, but still, thank you very much for.
I mean, my 2 spins didn't really help either, to be honest. But we'll blame on the game bug. I like
blame it on the game. Blame it on the game. Imola, hopefully we can have no game bugs there. Do you think you can do well?
Don't like the track, but last time I did a race there, different league, I weren't too bad, so don't see why not.
Optimistic, I hope. So, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
No practice. Again.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. We move on to Mizzy. Mizzy, I don't know what to say. It was a crazy race, and it didn't go your way in the end. Was there a technical issue?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, to be fair, as well. The pace was there. Everything was there, but just on the final lap or penultimate lap, I don't know which lap it was, basically my wheel disconnected on the exit of a hard traction zone, spun into the wall, my game crashed, and yeah, couldn't boot it up in time to, yeah, avoid the AI to going into the pit, so unfortunate, but yeah, it is happening way too often at this point. I've had the pace for some races, and yeah, it's pretty disappointing that I cannot pick up any points.
Yeah. You drove very, very well. Pace was absolutely immense, so well done for that. I guess that's at least a positive. Do you know what the bugs are, the issues?
I think I know what it is. I'm not sure. It's been happening very often, but sometimes it's fixed, sometimes it's not. So, yeah, I'll just try to play around with the settings as well a little bit more so to avoid this happening again.
Yeah, it's not what we want to see. MLR, if you can fix those bugs, do you think you can have a good race there?
I assume I can have a good race there. My pace have been decent on that circuit over the past, so yeah, I hope I can pick up at least some decent points.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Absolutely not ideal.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you, see you.
We move on to Nifo. Nifo, that was pretty textbook, I guess. Yeah, very, very well. Had some very, 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 very nice battles at 130R.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of trying not to interfere with everybody's race, kind of race. I mean, people just in the beginning, first lap, it was like they just as flies they flew off the track. It was like 1, 2, 3. It was like I was watching myself, honestly. And then there's like 6 cars down and P8, and then from there it was just like, yeah. I think I had a moment with Gijs. I'm sorry if I interfered with him a lot. He just went off, and I tried to go. I had to move to the right of the last corner, and then there's a curb there, so you get oversteer anyway. So I just kind of hit him. So I'm sorry for him. Then just battles, just trying not to interfere as much as possible. It's quite hard to do so if they're battling that hard. And then I had a bit of a mistake with Missy and JJ in front of me. They broke so early because they were fighting so hard. I didn't expect it, so I just slammed the brakes. And then I think Robbo hit me, but I don't think he got damaged. But I held him up quite a bit, so I guess I failed in that sense. But the safety car helped him, I guess. And then we just bit it, and then I was just managing my speed, basing off how quick Missy in front of me was going, and he hit me in the rear, got himself damaged. I'm sorry for that again, but I don't think I did anything necessarily wrong there. I can't do much. I couldn't go much faster. I would just get myself a penalty. And then yeah, from there on it was just drive your race. I mean, I knew I was faster, so there was nothing really exciting about that. And then, well, people just made mistakes, and then Missy got unlucky, disconnect in the end. So I'm sorry for him, but yeah.
Yeah, you summed that up very well. Well done, though. Great way to prove that you've got the pace. Once you were ahead, you were gone, and you legged it. I think that's all you can really say. Imola, I believe you have some recent practice there. Do you think you can do well?
Yeah, I had some recent practice there, but I was not. I think I'm not the quickest, honestly. It's not really a track that suits me very well, but you know, we'll keep trying.
Good to hear. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Watch out, Nifo.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
We move on to PJ. PJ, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
P2 in the end. You happy with that?
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I'm happy that I got P2. Because
Legendary
everyone in
status.
front of me had incidents and stuff like that. So yeah, I was pretty lucky to gain places in front.
Yeah, and after that, just kind of cruise to the end, I guess.
Yeah, because yesterday it was the same scenario as today with the safety car. And I did the opposite to yesterday and went medium hard, so I can do a one stop, and it worked out perfectly with
Awesome.
just doing one stop and pitting for hard tires for the second stint. It was just perfect timing.
Yeah, that was good. Some nice experience to then have exactly the same situation. So yeah, that's good to see. Really, really well done. That Alpine seems to be suiting you well.
Yes.
Yeah. Imola, do you like that circuit? Do you think the Alpine will carry you to maybe another podium?
I hope so, but I must say that Imola is also a very difficult track because of the high curbs. So, in my opinion, it will be a chaotic race again next weekend. So, if I do the same as today and I just stay on track, I think I may get some good places.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And well done today. Great job. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I don't know.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you, goodbye.
And we move on to This Is Vale, today's race winner. Absolutely amazing. Well done today. That's 3 in a row. One thing I want to say, you won on the softs in the end. How the hell did that happen? Can you take us through it?
Because of the other guys, actually. You know that I didn't have quite speed and pace actually in this race, and I'm actually shocked that I win because of the incident that happened at the end of the last lap and last 2 laps.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say actually. I don't like this track, and you saw that I didn't have quite pace. Especially compared to last two races.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I won.
Yeah, qualifying was difficult. There was no DRS trains and strategy, of course, so it made it quite difficult. Your start, the race start, was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So well done for that one.
It was good, but I had a different setup for this race, and it has the high downforce, so I didn't have any stage speed at all, actually. Any stage speed, so I couldn't pass anyone on stage.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, but something happened and I got P1.
Yeah, you were strong enough other than that, so yeah, really well done. Imola, is that a good track for you? There's not too many straights there.
But no, it's a good track for me. It's much better than Japan for me.
Awesome.
I'm saying that, but I won in Japan. I don't know, but maybe next week I will finish in P5. But generally, it's a good track for me. Yeah, compared to Suzuka. Yeah.
Fair enough. Good to hear. Hopefully we can see you do well next time as well. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Let me see. And it will be elusive. And blue stands for Alpen. And out of blue. Yeah, out of blue.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great job.
See you. Bye-bye.
And just before I hand it over to Zingy, I want to say sorry for my commentary today. I seem to have some brain issues. I will make sure I get on top of that for the next one. Thank you very much, and over to Zingy.
Yeah, your brain's spinning just like Niffle there, isn't it? And anyway, thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. We shall see you next time on Friday for Imola, wasn't it? The Imola Grand Prix. I'm not going to try and pronounce the whole name because I'm not capable of doing so. And we'll see you on Saturday for the F1.5 race once again, with hopefully we can have a race just like that again. But anyway, we'll see you next time, and goodbye.